Just gotta make sure.
At the start, Scott?
Yeah, it's live now. So we'll get started. Once that shows, you'll see us on there. So, right.
How should we set up?
Hopefully it'll come up here in 1 second. Let's see. There we go. Okay, we are up. All right. Well, here we go. Another Inside the Game with Coach Schmitz. This time after a great victory with Tri-Cities. It was good to get that first regional win. And got a couple of special guests today, so looking forward to getting into it. And want to thank, number one, our host tonight, which is Morty's Barbecue here in Dunwoody. They've been a great host for us, and if you're interested in getting some barbecue, come down and see us. We're going to be here for at least 30 more minutes with the Coaches Show, so looking forward to hearing about Tri-Cities and upcoming with Lakeside, and got a couple special guests and players are here with us. So, again, starting out, big win over Tri-Cities, and again, last year, Tri-Cities got the best of us. This year, not so lucky for them, I guess. Right. So we went down and took care of business. So we'll break that down. We've got defensive coordinator Ryan Gentry here with us as well. So starting off, big regional win.
Big win.
With Tri-Cities. And it didn't feel like the game was really ever in doubt from the beginning. So what are your initial thoughts on how that game went?
Right. Well, our kids played well. You know what I mean? That's what it boils down to. I mean, it was just really, even going back and watching the film from a coach's standpoint, grading it, I just catch myself just watching the team. I mean, the boys just really played well. You know, and a credit to our coaching staff, had them prepared. But once the lights were shining, it was on them to execute. And we are efficient on offense. It's one of the most efficient games we've had since I've been here. I mean, the numbers weren't huge because we had great field position, partly with our kicking game and our defense, but the efficiency was phenomenal. Defense only gave up a handful of first downs. A lot of those were at the end of the game, when we were kind of rolling some people in. So it was just it was a well executed. It was a good game on Friday.
It seemed very balanced. The passing game was there. It looked like there were some issues maybe with the snap. We can get into that in just a minute. But it looked like it was very balanced. And maybe on the defensive side of the ball, it looked like their quarterback, who was pretty elusive, gave us some problems to start the game, but we made some adjustments and really put that away, didn't we?
We did, right. He got that one, you mentioned it, the one long run he had early on. He kind of got away from us a little bit, and it was just a matter of contain. And, we fixed that, and that was, the last they really did something for a couple quarters, really. The second and third quarter, they were shut down by our defense pretty handedly. So.
Yeah, and you mentioned before that game just some injuries. So maybe talk a little bit about some of the players that stepped up to fill some of those injury gaps that we had and how they played.
Yeah, Hunter, all along our defensive line, we had new bodies. Coy Young and Louis Ryan, both two people that are primarily offensive players, both played a lot of reps for us on defense at defensive end. Sophomore Joseph Morrow stepped up, for getting his first big, real Friday night action. Joseph Lubin is a senior linebacker who's kind of been on the back of the depth chart. We moved him up on the defensive line, and he had a heck of a game. So it was just really good. That was kind of the cool thing as a coach to see. We talked about all in. We talked about it all the time. I joke with Coy, if you would have guessed he'd been playing defensive end in week 4, you know what I mean? But that's what it took to win that game on Friday. So.
I even saw Jaden Smith in there, a defensive end for a little bit.
100%, our cheetah package is what Coach Gentry called it.
Yeah, he was getting after it. That was good to see. You mentioned Duke White, who filling in for one of our injured defensive backs, had a huge interception. Almost took it back, and I think he had maybe a chance for a couple more, right?
He did. Duke really played well. He was our defensive player of the game, not just for the interception, for the other things he did too. Coach Gentry picked him as our player of the game, and like we talked about, we had some injuries, but we got some talented people behind him, and it was their chance. And he's one of the many that stepped up on Friday.
So people are getting healed up for the next game.
They are.
Coming up?
Yep,
okay.
They are. We should have. Hopefully everyone back that we were missing, maybe one left, that's still out. But, we're getting back to healthy.
So from a coaching perspective, what were some of the biggest improvements you saw coming out of the Lumpkin County game? Obviously a very heartbreaking loss in Lumpkin County, going to Tri-Cities. What are some of the biggest improvements that you saw for the team?
Our quarterback play improved greatly. Jack was extremely efficient. He was 15 of 18. And I think it was at 170 yardage. So, you're looking around 10 yards per attempt, which is just no matter what level of football you're in, from NFL to Pop Warner's, 10 yards per attempt is really efficient football. And so, he played phenomenal. You know what I mean? It was a game we kind of, we've been waiting to see Jack do. That was the one thing, our receiver play has improved. Jaden Gabriel had a second good week, putting together 2 weeks in a row. Coy made a big play for a touchdown. I just thought the overall offense, we scored the first 5 possessions we had the ball. We capitalized on field position. We finished drives, which we talked about last week. It's kind of been our Achilles heel. We put the ball in the end zone. So, I think that was kind of the biggest improvement. It was more from the offensive end. Our defense has been playing solid for 4 weeks now, you know what I mean? And just to see the offense put a full game together was nice to see.
Yeah, it was good to see Charlie Cervelis back out there playing some, got a couple catches.
He got a couple catches, coming in. So, yeah, it was a good night.
Yeah, and Gabriel had some good receptions as well. So, yeah, very productive. The offense played great. I was up watching the game and calling it. There's really the only negative I would say would be maybe some snap issues with the ball getting over Jack's head. So maybe talk about that in ways that you're trying to address it.
We're trying to remedy it. It's obviously snaps is something you do every day. And so we work on it. But we're putting more stress on it these past 2 days. Coach Smith and Coach Rosie, our line coaches, and myself, just not just going through the motions when you're practicing snapping, actually doing something you would be doing in a game. It's easy to just kind of snap, go. So we're locking more in intention in practice. And it was just one of those nights, kind of like the yips in golf, you know what I mean? And, now it's a bad yip to have, because it can affect the other 10 guys. But, Moose will be fine. He snapped a whole lot for us over the past 3 years. Moose is going to be fine.
Yeah. So, we'd have the 1st and 10. We maybe a bad snap. We get to 2nd 15 or 2nd 20, and we'd still get the first down. So that was the beauty of some of the players probably appreciated the extra stats that we got on that. Anything else that maybe stood out for you in that game that you'd like to highlight?
I think our kicking game, we talked about our kicking game's a strength, and it should be a weapon for us all year. And, both the 2 gentlemen we're going to have with us here in a second, are the stalwarts of that, you know what I mean? Their right foot can move the ball, but again, our coverage lanes are always good. Our punt protection has been good. Kicking game's something that gets overlooked quite a bit in football, but it's a strength for Dunwoody's. So.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have them here in just 1 second. It's a good transition to bring some of our specialists on. Yeah, you're used to this now. You're good at it. So let's slide over, and we'll bring Christian and Jude Torjak in. Christian Lee, the field goal kicker. See if we can get everybody in the frame here. I might come over a little bit further. There we go. So we got Christian Lee, field goal kicker extraordinaire, had a huge game with Tri-Cities, and Jude Torjak, who is obviously flips the field for us on the for the defensive side of the ball. 2 great specialists that do a lot of great work for the team. I guess let's start, Christian, with that 50-yard kick. That's huge. Honestly, I've been watching high school football for a long time. I don't think I've seen a 50-yard kick in high school in a while, and I think that one probably could have been good from 55 or longer than when I saw it. So take us through your thought process. What was it like on that kick? Give us some inside information.
Yeah, so I just got out there. I took my steps, vision, making the kick, signaled to Jack that I was ready to kick. Can't do it without Mason or Jack or the line. We were working on our splits all week last week, make sure that the blocking was good. So overall, it was really great by everyone that we were able to make it happen.
Yeah, that was amazing. So, we do call you Mr. Automatic. Number one, kickoffs are almost always in the end zone, which are amazing. I think at Lumpkin County, I joke, I think you put it in that construction zone at least once. And then you hit the 50-yarder, and what was great about it was you came back and did the touchback. I think you had so much adrenaline going in your body. You hit the ball almost through the uprights. It was great. So, this is it's funny when you play football, nobody can ever kick, And I'm curious, when did you start kicking? How did you get into doing that?
So I played soccer until high school, and then I decided to come over and play football. And really that summer, I just went out. I kicked a lot by myself at the field. That's when I started to pick it up. So not until my freshman year of high school.
Oh, you didn't start kicking field goals until your freshman year? Because I feel like you've been our kicker now. 7th year of eligibility, I think, in high school. I think you've been around forever. So it's great. Yeah, we'll definitely be something we'll miss next year. So do you get nervous? When you go out there and we don't have a lot of game-winning kicks. That wasn't necessarily a game-winning kick, but do you get nervous when you go out there? I'm curious. I feel like I would.
I try to stay calm out there. I think it helps a lot just to be able to be in the right mindset when you're out there. If you're too nervous, I feel like it's going to be a little harder to make the kick.
Yeah, just go there. And it is a team effort, obviously. You've got good long snapper, good holder, and all that has to work properly. And your line has to block and give you enough time to do it. And I did watch practice last week, and it looks like you guys have a bit of a drill where you get everyone around him to he has to have a pressure kick from a distance too. It wasn't just an extra point.
That's correct. On Wednesday is kind of how we finish practice. We finish with offense and we finish with our field goal team and kind of see how far he can go. A little note about this kick. Kickers have their own footballs they like to use. They're overinflated. They're hard as a rock. Quarterbacks have their own footballs they like to use. Usually like Tom Brady. They like to squeeze it a little bit. Well, the referees nixed our kicking balls, so he kicked that in with one of the soft quarterback balls too. So which doesn't sound like a lot, but I mean, especially with some kickers being kind of head cases about what balls they use sometimes. I mean, it was a big deal. He kicked that with like a legit, the ball the way our quarterbacks use, not with a kicking one.
What's the longest you've kicked in practice?
In practice, I've had a 60-yarder.
60?
Yes, sir.
Man, that is a long way. So I like to ask this question. So what are your plans like after high school? What are you looking to do after high school?
Yeah, so right now just focus on the season and the team. And after college, I'm definitely going to be considering my opportunities to play at the next level. But right now, just focus on the season and my academics.
Yeah, I have to think you're getting some looks based on what you're doing. You're very consistent, and like I said, it's always Mr. Automatic when you go out there. We kind of always feel like we know we're going to get it, and which when you expect it, that's when you're like, oh, we shouldn't expect it. But it's just so automatic. It's fantastic. Any other mental aspects of the game of kicking you want to share? I mean, is there anything else that you'd like to look at?
I think just being able to practice daily and get those kicks in from both hashes is definitely a big part of the game. Especially that right hash.
Yep. And then one last question. I guess kickoffs. You seem to pride yourself on getting the ball into the end zone, so it's a touchback virtually every single time. Is that something you really focus on, just trying to get the ball down?
Yes, sir. I think that's a big part of my game this year, just being able to get that ball in the end zone every time. Something I definitely have improved on since the past 3 years.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, Christian and I actually lived across the street from one another for a bit of time, so I know his family from a long time, and I texted. We're in a fantasy football league together, and I texted everybody, and I said, hey, you got to watch. Christian's going to be on, so it's good to see that. So Mr. Automatic. All right, so flipping now over to another specialist, Jude Torjak, who is a key for punting. Again, another skill that most football players don't have, which is putting their foot on the ball. You would think football you'd have it, but you are such a key weapon for this team to flip the field. We don't get to stop. We know we have to punt, and you get it down there. So many critical punts. What's the thought process for punting for you?
Yes, sir. Thank you. So I really like to work on my drop. The drop is like the most important part of punting, but also just getting into the weight room, getting stronger, but working on flexibility a lot, getting that leg above my head. But
yeah. When did you first start punting? Is it something you have always been able to do?
I started punting probably like 7th grade. Yeah.
Did you play Junior Wildcats?
I did for 3 years.
Okay. And that's probably pretty tough, punting in the Junior Wildcats, right? I've seen some crazy punts. And it's funny, when we watch these other teams, and even in Tri-Cities, not to knock the punters, but, they had no ability to flip the field. So when they brought their punter out, I mean, there was one time I think they had a pass interference because it didn't pass the line. Right. It was a interesting spot. So again, just a huge thing. What's key on being consistent as a punter? Is it the drop? Is it the time you've got? What's that like?
So there's a lot of like little details. So I'd say the drop is probably the most important thing. You also have to have a good snapper. If your snapper's getting it back there in 2 seconds, that's not going to be good. It's got to be around like 1.3 seconds or whatever. But we've had some good snappers. David Remigalo, who's snapping for me. But yeah, that's been very good. And then just my drop, working on that, just walking around the track and just dropping the ball and getting it back up and dropping it.
So you work on that. You guys work on your kicking every day. Like, is that all you do during practice? Is really just work on the snaps and kicking? Because that was always the take. When you were a regular football, if you played a position, you'd go and watch the kickers, and you're like, well, that seems like they've got it pretty easy during practice. Do you feel like that you guys are working a lot during practice?
I'd say we are working a lot during practice. Me and Christian really focus on aiming and like where precision with our kicks and punts. We usually do like goalpost drills where we'll try to hit the goalpost, and we're pretty accurate and stuff, but also stretching a lot too.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. So, all right, so you did a great job on Friday night. What are some of your goals maybe for the rest of the season? Anything particular you're looking to do?
I've been posting on my X, Twitter, but a lot. So I really do want to play in college. I think it would be a great opportunity for me. I would love to play in college. I'm just going to get myself out there, get my name out there, try to email some coaches. And yeah.
Okay. And so that's, a good segue. So the next on the list, you want to do play college football, but anything like if you can't do that, is there any certain school you follow? I'm just curious are you a Georgia fan?
For academics, so I am a UGA fan, but I mean the school's pretty hard to get into. So I've been looking at a lot of Georgia College, State University, and sometimes like App State maybe.
Yeah, well, I think you both have a chance to play at the next level. It's so much fun, and again, keys to what we're doing, on the football team is just everything that you do day-to-day basis, and it's not never concerned when our kicking game comes out. It's always something that's positive. You guys are doing a great job. All right, well, thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it. And I think we're going to try to bring in our defensive coordinator, and that would be Ryan Gentry coming up. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, come on in here, Ryan.
Thank you.
Again, you and I lived right down the street from one another. It's like the Lees are across the street, and you were right down the street.
Woodsong Trail.
Woodsong Trail.
Yeah.
Dunwoody's a small spot.
It's a great spot.
Yeah, so, well, welcome. So, defensive coordinator, talk a little bit about how you prepare for games.
Yeah, so we got a good coaching staff that's been with us for a couple of years, and so really after the game Friday night, we'll get the film uploaded, and we're breaking down that game Friday night and Saturday morning, grading our players, what did we do right, what did we do wrong, and then Saturday morning, once we get that wrapped up, we're really moving on to the next opponent. So we're getting a couple game films on those guys and breaking down what they do by formation, by down and distance, all their tendencies, and really trying to build a report and a game plan together. And then we all as a coaching staff get together Sunday and make sure we're all on the same page. And then Monday we're meeting with the kids and sharing that with them.
Yeah, and Coach and I were talking last week about the number of kids you lost on the defensive side of the ball last year. It was a huge number, and you're obviously dealing with injuries and stuff. What's it like, coaching high school of having to make that adjustment, every year going, all right, who are my seniors? What do I have to think about for next year? It's got to be a constant process.
Yeah, it's it's scary. You look at sometimes, and I know from the offensive side too, you look at depth and you're like, oh gosh, what happens when this person leaves? But all our kids have stepped up and they've really matured, and we're really led by a couple seniors on our defense now. We've got 5 or 6 seniors that are starting for us primarily, and then we've got some young guys behind them, and these guys have been in our program for a couple years and been in our defense. So like a Declan Gallagher's a quarterback of our secondary, and so we've got full trust in him, and he takes ownership of that group and makes sure the rest of those guys are on the same page. And we've got 2 senior linebackers who we trust there, and David Remigalio and Jake Greenfield, and then Cole Camp has been with us on the D-line for 3-4 years, and he really kind of quarterbacks that unit along with Rhett Hesbridge a little bit. So it's just trusting those guys and bringing the younger guys along, but our coaching staff makes sure we get everyone prepared and ready to go.
And a lot of kids that play junior Wildcats, right? So they came into the program kind of knowing what expectations
100%.
Were and how they needed to do the right things. Right?
Absolutely, and that's a big thing. They've played together. They've 6-7 years by the time they're a senior. They've been playing together. They know each other. They just have a blast together, which I think is the most important thing. I mean, most of these guys aren't going to go play college football. Probably not professional football, but you get 4 years of Dunwoody to go play football. That's a fun experience for them.
So looking back at Tri-Cities, what are some things that really stood out to you on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, like Coach said, we had some new bodies and new faces, and that was, it's a little scary when you got some new people out there. But again, the guys that have been in our system, like a Joseph Lubin and some guys who are really getting their chance to shine, and their number's called, and they go in and they play well and they play hard and they give it everything they've got. And so, they came out, did their assignments, they understood their keys, what to look for. And that really translated in the game, and it showed. And I thought they put a pretty good product out there Friday.
Yeah, they really did. I mean, obviously, we talked about the interceptions and a lot of pressure on the quarterback through the entire game, and really a chance at a couple more interceptions that maybe we didn't get. And I saw the guys doing their push-ups when they would miss things. So, talk about that. What's the push-up deal that they do?
The push-up deal. That's I would say that's probably Coach Wilkins, our DB coach, who really harps on that. He's got him in a great mindset now where he expects them to make every play, and he trusts them to make every play. So if they drop an interception or if they blow an assignment, they don't even have to look over to them. They just get on the ground and start doing their push-ups, and it's an ownership type of thing. So it's, they enjoy it and they take accountability and they shake it off and get on the next play.
So Jaden Smith comes in and plays defensive end.
Yeah.
What is it? Cheetah package? Is that what it's called?
Cheetah package.
Cheetah package,
Yep.
yeah.
He got after it too.
He did. He is very shifty, very nimble, and so he's very hard to tackle, which we were hoping was going to make him very hard to block as well. We're trying to get more of a pass rush. We got our defensive line that plays run first, which we need him to play, but we're still trying to get more of a pass rush. So with guys getting hurt, we were trying to look for some more speed out there and some guys to take on some more roles, keep some other guys fresh too, but really get after the quarterback. And you watched a couple plays he got in there. He got after it.
Yeah,
we got to coach him up some, but he's a good player.
That's right. So we didn't talk about your bio, but new father.
Times two. So we've got a 2-year-old girl and a 6-month-old almost boy.
Grew up in Dunwoody. Went to Dunwoody.
Yep.
Homegrown.
Homegrown, yeah. It's a great spot. Class of 2008 for Dunwoody High School, and wife is from the area too. She went to a private school not named, but we knew we wanted to be back here, and it's a blessing to be back.
Yeah. Well, we're glad to have you, and you obviously see your dad in the stands and know him. So it's great that it's a family affair for you guys that you're around and that we have you. So really appreciate that. What is your favorite game day tradition? Do you have one? Fridays come around. What is it you like to do?
Just like the expression we talked about it the other day, the hay is in the barn. So you got the butterflies, you got the pregame jitters. Everybody's got it, from the players to the coaches, and it's did we coach them? Did we teach them enough? Right.
Yeah.
But there's nothing else we can do. So just kind of really right when that national anthem plays, the band plays, they start going right before kickoff. I told him before I like to kick it off, and so we go on defense first just to get it over with and see, and instead of just sitting there and waiting. So it's just the pregame jitters. It's fun, it's exciting, and then when it comes together, that's always the bright spot.
Yeah, 100%. So looking ahead now, maybe throughout the season, what are some of the things you want the team to achieve?
Yeah, we talked about it. I know Coach Myers was on here last week and talked about 11 hats. So we just, we just want everyone flying to the football, first and foremost, and making them play and being aggressive and doing their assignment and really working together, right? Defense, what I like about it is offense lines up, and it's different week to week, and you different formations and different plays, and it has to fit like a puzzle. So your defensive assignment, you're 1/11th of the puzzle, and you got to do your job. So really just to us keep doing that and getting tighter and getting more, accurate with what we need to do and more detail-oriented, where we can come in and just grow our confidence and hopefully play some more games with less points allowed is always the end result.
Always the end result. All right, so maybe now turning our focus to the next game. Now, Tribe Cities, I will say their band was amazing. I don't know if you guys were in the locker room. Their band was amazing, and they got after it a good bit. But turning our gaze to Lakeside, another regional game, next one up. So last year, obviously, we lost to Tri-Cities. We were 0-1 in the region. Then we got Lakeside, and we lost that game as well, right? So we started last year 0-2. Tight game with Lakeside. Nevertheless, we lost it. Now we get Lakeside at home. Maybe go through what are your thoughts about Lakeside, and what have you seen on film?
Well, I mean, they're a typical Lakeside team. They're one of 2 teams, them and Chambly's, who we've played all 4 years. We will play Chambly all 4 years that Ryan and I have been here. So, I mean, they're the same coaching staff. They do a lot of the same stuff on both offense and defense. So it's going to be a good game, I think.
Same coaching staff as they had last year?
Same coaching staff. I'm pretty sure they've had all 4 years. It's the same staff going on. And they've tweaked things, just like we do things a little bit different on offense, but it's the same system, So we know what we're going to get. I think our kids know their kids. It's a similar school. It's a homecoming game for us, so it's obviously a big game for us. I mean, they got to feel like they're 0-1. Their back's against the wall a little bit, so it's a big game for them. So, I mean, it'll be an exciting one.
Yeah, they lost a tight one with Arabia Mountain, I think, last week. And I don't know what it was. I think it might have been at Arabia Mountain, excuse me. But what kind of style are they have on? Is it RPO? Do they have a running quarterback? What are we going to expect from the offensive side of the ball?
From their offensive side of the ball, and Coach Gentry can speak a little bit more, but they're going to throw the ball more than any team we've seen by far. You know what I mean? We've been seeing. I guess Tri-Cities was close to balance, but other 3 teams have been primary runs. So they're going to open it up a little bit more.
They'll spread you out. They want to throw the deep ball. They'll do some quick perimeter screens, stuff like that. So it's challenge for a secondary this week. Like Coach said, we've been primarily a run. So after all the 7-on-7 we do in the summer, this is a good chance for them to kind of put to work what we've been teaching and make sure we've got our coverages aligned and we get after the right guy, and then defensive line putting some pressure on them as well.
So they got some speedsters that we're going to see on the
They
outside.
do. They got good skill.
Yeah.
They've got good skill on both sides of the ball.
Yeah. I think that's kind of how it was last year. I feel like it was a bit of a track meet, 34-31. Lakeside came out on top last year. And every year we have it, even back a couple of years ago when we sort of felt like we had the better team. That was even a close game, and I think Pierce even got hurt maybe in that game a few years ago. So always a tough fight with Lakeside. And, again, a regional play. So any key matchups that you see coming up in this game? Is it?
I mean, I think on the offensive side of the ball, we need to control the line of scrimmage. I mean, if we control the line of scrimmage, which, I think we should be able to do with our offensive line this week, then we should have a good game. I mean, that's what it's going to all come up to. They do a lot up front, not as much as Tri-Cities did, which we talked about a little bit last week, but they like to bring a lot of pressure. So as long as we control our gaps and don't have free guys on the offensive side of the ball, then we should have success. And I guess also just going on the defensive side of the ball, like Coach said, getting to the quarterback, keeping their passing game in front of them, not giving up big plays. I mean, would be the main things.
Any major points of emphasis in practice this week that you're looking to do outside of that?
Nothing, specific, really just get better. We tell our boys, we really, it sounds coach speak and cliche, but we want to be playing our best ball come November, and in order to do that, you should be getting better every week. So we should be making improvements, whether it's a win or a loss the previous week, we should be making improvements, going into next week. So, there's some things we need to clean up on the offensive side of the ball, the snaps being for one, and we want to add a little bit more to our run game. We think this is a good week to add a couple things. And then the point of emphasis being on defense, just, having to flip the switch from, being a run-first defense, and now we're going to have to stop the pass first, I think, are the big point of emphasis on that side.
So it's homecoming week, and I know I had the chance to talk to Coach Nash a few times about homecoming week, and he always would get a little bit frustrated in the divided concentration that some of the players that may be on the homecoming court or all the festivities around homecoming that brought into it. How do you feel about all that? I mean, obviously it's pageantry of high school. Know it's going to happen, but I'm just curious, how does that go?
This was, we had a back and forth on our staff meeting Sunday night. How strict do we want to be? How loose do we want to be? Like you said, it's part of the high school experience. So we don't want to take anything away from kids, but at the same time, during that halftime thing, if you're not on the field at halftime part of the court, you don't need to be standing there watching. That's kind of the point we're taking. So if you're involved in the homecoming court, you're doing your thing on the field. If you're not involved, you're in the locker room, getting ready for the second half.
Getting ready for absolutely. All right, so Lakeside this weekend, and then we are truly in sort of the middle of the season. It's amazing how fast it goes. Just trying to get in now to all the regional play. Anything you're looking forward to beyond Lakeside that we need to think about as a fan?
Nothing, but it's wide open. Our region is wide open. There are some scores that kind of surprises us a little bit as coaches. People knocking other people off.
The Decatur score.
Chambly knocked off Decatur. Woodward and Shiloh played a really tough game. So we think we've been saying it all summer and all spring. We've been saying that it's going to be. Every week's going to be a grind. It's going to be who plays the best, who makes the less mistakes, but. We really feel like the region's wide open this year. So.
I completely agree. Usually you go, there's Woodward, and then everyone sort of plays for pecking place between. Right. But you look at the region, and it is completely wide open. So a lot of opportunity there for Dunwoody, right?
Yeah, we're excited.
All right, so after a win, what is your favorite way? This is a fan question. What's your favorite way to celebrate?
Just relax. Honestly, just relax. Just go home, spend time with my kids, and Saturday relax and watch college football. That's really my best way to celebrate. And then like Coach said, it's quick turnaround, man. We don't, Saturday morning we're getting the film from the next game and we're breaking it down. And we're moving on. So just that little peace of mind for maybe 12 hours, is what I like. So, what about you, Coach?
I would say the same thing. It's nice to go home and relax, but then you're up early morning, Saturday morning, regardless of win or loss, and you're really trying to put the game from the night before to bed so you can move on to the next week. And it's, Saturday through Monday till practice, it's a grind. It might be the busiest time for us.
Right. Yeah. And just the emotions of the game kind of get to you.
Right.
And again, you guys didn't get home from the game until late on Friday night, so that shortened your weekend a little bit. Well, good. I'm really looking forward to this week. Lakeside, obviously, everybody, it's homecoming week. We got Thursday. I think they have the parade on Thursday.
The parade on Thursday. Yep.
Game 7 p.m. on Friday night, which will be extended because of the homecoming stuff at halftime. But should be a good time. So.
Yep.
Looking forward to it, and you guys are playing great, and it's always fun to go out there and watch. And again, with Christian and Jude, flipping the field and doing what they do, it's just awesome to watch Dunwoody football today.
Well,
So,
thank you.
Yeah,
Let's
good
get
stuff.
another one.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Good
Yep.
stuff. Thanks, guys.
All right. Yep.